Hello and welcome to the new features of Ableton Live 9. I am Emmanuel, and maybe you know me from Ableton User Zurich, from my pseudo modulator, or from abletontraining.com, a website that will soon be live. Let's dig right in with the convert audio to Midi command. These are new in Ableton Live 9, and I've prepared a song for you to demonstrate that. Let's listen to that. Okay, as you can see, these are all audio tracks, no MIDI here, and I want to change that. So I want to extract actually the chords, the bass, and the drums out of those three clips. How can I do that? In Live 9, it's easy. I right-click on the clip, and then I see those new three commands, which are convert harmony to MIDI track, melody, and drums. For the chords, I select harmony, because that makes sense to take this for that material. For the bass, I select convert melody to a new MIDI track. And for the drums, I select convert drums. So what did Ableton do here? So we have new tracks that were created by Ableton with the MIDI information where we had chords before. So here you have the audio information, chords here, and you have the chords here, which are extracted out of the audio. Bass, monophonic material here, and drums, which are converted to drums. Let's listen how that sounds without the old tracks. Okay, I edited the material a little bit here, because I like that better, and I can now safely delete the old tracks because I don't need them anymore. We have it all extracted in MIDI. Here's how it sounds. Okay, perfect. What I want to do now is replace the sounds of those three clips and tracks. I go to the new browser, which you see over here on the left side, and I search for a pad, which I like. I take this one. Yeah, this one. And I replace this instrument here. Second, I replace the bass. This one. And third, I replace the drums. Let's go. And in the drums, you see that there are Max4Live devices inside. Max4Live is much better in this new version already, because first of all, it's free, it's included, so you don't have to pay for that. And it has a lot of instruments like these drum sounds here. Okay, so what have we done? We have completely replaced the audio with the MIDI tracks. And now let's listen how that sounds in the end. Yeah, I'm sorry, we replaced the sounds as well. Okay, that's it. Another new feature is default presets for MIDI and audio tracks. When we move into the session view, let's say I want to add or insert a new audio track. That's what I did now. So all looks fine, but maybe as a default, I would like to have different settings. For example, it should be off, the volume should be down, the monitor should, the ARM session recording should be on, or maybe even I want to have an EQ3 as a default setting in an audio track. I save that with right-click, save as default audio track, and confirm that. So what happens for the next time I open an audio track or insert an audio track? It will open it exactly with these settings. So the EQ3 is there, the track activator is on, and it's at 50% with the track volume. So where does it actually store those settings? It's in the new browser, user library, then defaults, and then creating tracks. And there you see audio track and MIDI track. So this doesn't only work for audio, but it does also work for MIDI. We have other settings inside here in this folder, the audio to MIDI settings, the dropping samples, and the slicing defaults. What's next? The MIDI editing improvements. For that, I go to the session view and import a sound out of the browser. Because I cannot record and play on the keyboard at the same time, I will assign an external MIDI controller to this first clip here. I press the controller, and that's it. It is, and I can record with this foot pedal now. Okay, that's recorded. And what I want to do now is to show you the new transformation tools. So you have seen that I can play double tempo, I can play half tempo, reverse, invert, legato, and duplicate the loop very easily in this clip. What else? When I go to the clip, to the loop, I can insert some pseudo stretch MIDI stretch markers, and I can stretch the material freely as I wish. This includes the end as well and the beginning. Another feature is if I press the button B on the keyboard. So I go to the toggle mode, and what's new here is that if I go very close to the end of the note, I can change the notes here as well. Let's have a look at the Redesigned Browser. It's a very handy addition. I think you will love it. When we have a close look at it, you can see that there is a two-pane view with more details than ever before. So on the left side you have the Browse and Places, and on the right side you have all the details. In Places you have, for example, the packs that you have installed, in my case the core library and core Max4Live devices. You have the user library, which contains the defaults and presets, the current project, which, for example, includes all the samples which are processed or frozen or recorded, and some additional folders that I added. I added this folder here, which are my patches, my Max4Live patches that I programmed. And they appear as soon as I add this folder here, they appear up in the browse window. So all the additions that I put here, they will be laid out here in the browser. How can we search those? Actually, we search those by this search bar over here. So always good is to have the all results open. So you will find everything. In this case, filter, you will find, and you will see that here, you will find the auto filter, and you will find some samples. And you will find some presets. And if you load the preset now and drag it, you will see that it is actually not only a preset, but of course it will load the whole instruments to the track. And I can play that, of course. And play it on the keyboard. Okay, so much to that. You can navigate by arrow keys, up and down, left, right. The coolest of all features is, of course, the session view automation. Many of you have waited eagerly on that, including me. So now it's here. Let's have a look. So if you want to record in the session view, first of all, you have to click this automation arm button. That's absolutely necessary. Second, you click this arm session recording for every single track. That's what I've done here. So you can circumvent that. If you go to Preferences, and there you can say that the recording should take place not only for the ones which have pressed this button, but for every track. And as a third step, you go to this Session Record button. So let's erase what I've done before, the automations before. And I show you this rack, what I've done here. So on the right side, you have this previous synth that you know from before, that's just stayed here. And on the left side, I have added these new chains in this rack. So what's in there? The chain selector. Let's go. So this selector chooses chords, different chords from these chains, and we have the frequency here. That's super. So I record now with the outboard camera. Okay, that has been recorded. I can see this with these red buttons there, LEDs. So they are appearing on the left side of the knob. And now it's being played. If I want to override, I can do that now. But this would mean that the LED would be gone. If I want to return to the previous state, I right-click and say Re-enable Automation, but for every single knob. But if I have like two knobs, I can go back with Re-enable Automation to go back to the previous state. Okay, what I can do is I can delete. So delete automation per parameter. So I do that twice now. I don't want to do that, I go back. Of course, you can record all the automations into the arrangement view. So for that, you have to go to the arrangement record button, click that, and then it will be played over to the arrangement view. Max4Live is free with Ableton Live 9, and it's a very good opportunity that you can program your own plugins and use them within Ableton Live. Let me show you 3 of those plugins. The first one is a XY pad. And this pad has no connection with this instrument over here. You can see that they are not connected, but still they can interact. So how is that possible? Let's see. We map it just by clicking. For example, the resonance here, and boom, there you go, already connected. The second one, I map, for example, the amp 2, the release time, and already you can see that the one is working with the other. Okay, I reduce the sound a little bit here, and I start this so you can hear. Okay, that's the first example, and maybe in the background you heard already this candidate over here, which is a convolution reverb. What is convolution? Convolution means that there are sampled rooms, and those rooms you can use here. So you can choose, for example, bigger spaces or halls, plates, and so on, and you can use all those for your productions. It's a very good sounding reverb that you can use. Let's listen to that. The third plugin I would like to show is Shepherd Box. That's something I programmed maybe 1 year ago or so. It's a Max4Live device, and it emulates a never-stopping, never-ending rising sound or falling sound. Just listen to that. So that's a funny thing, and I programmed other Max4Live devices, and you can download them from max4live.com. There are hundreds of other plugins there, and you will also find this geeky t-shirt. If you still need a birthday present or something, I'm sure the geeks amongst you will find this useful. Okay, that's it. Next in line are envelope editing and keyboard workflow improvements. I've worked quite a bit on this track here. I imported a VST instrument and I recorded some notes here inside this clip. Some words to this 32-bit plugin here. Of course, those plugins will only run in the 32-bit version of Ableton Live and not in the 64-bit version. That's a shame, but it's like that, and the providers of such plugins will have to work on their plugins to make them 64-bit capable. So 64 has a lot of advantages versus the 32 version because, for example, all the processors can be addressed directly. There are just a lot of advantages there. Ableton worked quite a bit on that as well. Even in the 32-bit version, you can see 2 threads here. So the live thread with 27% here, and also the Ableton index, which is just the index of the sounds that takes place when this is running. So this is a separate process, and you can see that the index is running right now here at places. Okay, so let's play what I've recorded in this clip. Okay, that's nice. I just want to add a ping pong delay to that and automate that. I search, and within the all results, I can see the ping pong delay. I add that to a return track. And voila, I can already hear that. So what I want to do now is I enter this clip here, and inside I have this show hide envelopes box, which is already set now. Second, I have to put the control chooser to the correct parameter. And third, I just click and put some breakpoints inside. I click here, click here, click here, and again. Maybe you've seen before there was a dotted line, so this will disappear as soon as you click here. You can also do this, go close and drag. You can, of course, also copy paste. For example, like that. Okay, that's all nice. And I think that's already it for this section. One more thing, if I drag the Midi stretch marker here, that will also drag the things that I've drawn in before. So let's move to the improved keyboard workflow. That's very easy. So I have this toggle here with B, for example, on my keyboard. And already I can draw. Go back here. And 0, for example, I double click here and then I put 0 back and forth. That will take away this clip launch button here. Or I can do the same thing here on the synth. 0 will just toggle it on or off. That's very practical. Then in the clip itself, when I deselect the envelopes box here, I can press the Enter key. And what it will do, you will see it on the bottom left, time selection, node selection. So that's a toggle between those two parameters. Sorry, not parameters, but those two selections. And then there is a last toggle or two last toggles. One is the Q, which toggles the hot swap mode for devices that can be loaded, and only those that can be loaded will be toggled. And there is the D, which toggles the hot swap between a drum rack and its last selected pad. Now I'd like to work on the mix. For that, I choose some device additions and improvements. First of all, let's work on the drums. There's a new glue compressor, which is a perfect fit for that. I drag it in, and let's listen without the glue first. Now let's listen with the glue. So for that, I have to lower the threshold so that the compressor starts earlier and make up the gain after. That's fine for me. I'd like to work on the synth 1 and 2 now, because they have the same frequencies. I load an EQ8. There we go. And set the track to solo. When we listen to that, you can see the biggest addition to this device. So this new frequency displays a super addition to it. I would like to work on the 3 frequencies now. First, on the bass, I set it to this new 48 dB per octave filter. I don't need so much bass here, so that's why. After that, I increased the Q of the other two frequency bands that I have here, and I set the audition mode to on, that I can listen what I'm doing here and see. That's fine. Second frequency here. There we go. So much to that sound. What I want to do now is copy the AQ8 over to Synth 2. I know that this sound needs a little bit more bass, so I lower that volume, increase that volume here. So we have more bass here. And for the rest, I just invert the scale. And the two frequencies that were increased in Synth 1 are now decreased in Synth 2. On top, what I want to do is to increase a little bit of the high frequencies here. That's done now. Let's listen. That's all fine. So now what I want to do is that strings on synth are both pumping because of the bass drum. How do I do that? I load a new return track, and in that track I load a compressor. Put that in here. Now that this compressor receives the signal from string and synth 1, I put the sense of those two tracks to C fully up, and I route the master to send, the audio to send only. Then I click the sidechain toggle here. By the way, the sidechain is available in EQ8 and multiband dynamics as well in Live 9. And I choose the sidechain here and set it to drum track. Then I limit the EQ to the lower frequencies, which is in this case bass drum. Now I set the compressor to gain reduction view. I increase the ratio that I can hear that very well, that the result is very strong. And when I will lower the threshold soon, you will see the resulting audio signal. First set that to solo, that I can hear that well. Okay, let's go. So that's the pumping I want. Okay, fine. So the last thing I want to do is to glue everything together with a multiband compressor. Sorry, it's the multiband dynamics, huh? Here I have a preset, and that will do. Okay, that's it. At last, I would like to record everything into arrangement view and put it back into session view with the consolidate time to new scene command. Let us record those 5 tracks into arrangement view. By clicking the arrangement record button, you will see that, for example, this track here, this clip, contains the envelopes, and they will be transferred over to the arrangement view and back with this Consolidate Time to New Scene command. Let's go. Okay, that's recorded now. So let's use this new command. Right-click, Consolidate Time to New Scene once, twice, and 3 times. So you can see that Live created new scenes with everything inside that is needed to play the whole track. And I personally think that's a very good addition to Ableton Live 9. And that's it to this topic. So let's see what topics we addressed in this presentation. First of all, we talked about session view automation, the redesigned browser. After that, convert audio to Midi, the envelope editing improvements, and the curves. Then the Midi editing improvements, improved keyboard workflow, consolidate time to new scene, and defaults for Midi and audio tracks. Furthermore, we talked about device additions and improvements. I hope you found this presentation useful, and I say goodbye.